Time now for our rants and raves of the week, starting with you, Dan.
Okay, I have a rant for the numerous critics who have been writing and speaking and tweeting for the last day or two because the major networks chose not to show President Obama's speech on immigration Thursday. All I've got to say is this 1986? There is nobody who wanted to watch that speech who lacked for places to watch it, listen to it, watch it again. I mean, I couldn't watch it last night. I watched it on the New York Times website. We are well past that. Yeah. People have choice. This is not North Korea where you get in trouble if you turn off the one channel. No,
but the criticism really was that people wanted a roadblock, you know, that they wanted you to have no choices.
Exactly.
And if the networks put it up, then essentially you're blocking it up because they think, oh, this is so important, everybody should hear it.
That's exactly what they wanted. Yeah. I think that's fine for maybe the State of the Union and a couple of other things, but that's it.
That's also it sweeps, and there's no way the networks are going to give up the time.
There you go.
Yeah. All right, who have we got next? John.
Well, I have a rant for the notion that when the verdict comes down from the grand jury in St. Louis on the Ferguson incident, that there will be rioting, violent rioting in the streets. The headline, you just Google it, you'll see it's about 1 million hits. Insert name of city, braces for Ferguson verdict. Now, I think it's right that the police are preparing. That's their job. I think that when voices are urging calm, that's good. But it seems to me this emphasis on this theme perpetuates a stereotype that when there's a news story that is unwelcome in the black community, that black people will automatically riot. And we saw after the Trayvon Martin, the George Zimmerman verdict, there was this similar, oh no, it's a Saturday night, America's going to be in flames. There was almost no violence. So I think we need to kind of grow up and be a little more aware of how insulting this is to an entire community.
I almost get the impression that CNN is eager to have it happen. I mean, they are breathless with the headlines, you know, the lower thirds, underneath the reporters. They're there all day long, using even more inflammatory language than bracing. And then they couldn't wait to report that school is canceled next week. It's like, the gun's going to go off, and you know, the second that thing comes down, you know, it's going to be total bedlam. But they're breathless about it.
Yeah. It's just thoughtlessly overdone, I think.
Yeah, it goes back to 24 hours of time to fill.
Yeah. All right, Joanna, what do you got?
I have a rave for Recode, which is a tech website that's run by Kara Swisher and Walt Mossberg, and they joined the group of news outlets that have decided that their online comments are of no value to anyone, and they're getting rid of them. They said there will still be discussion of stories on the site. It's just going to be happening on social media, Twitter, Facebook, as it does for newspapers and lots of other press outlets. I think it's a wise move.
So you were saying that even when you write a column now, you don't get comments on your associated with the newspaper clip, but it's all on social media.
Well, they're both. I mean, there are comments under the article, and sometimes they're interesting. Actually, in my column today, there are some really interesting comments about retail workers, but often you get the same 5 or 6 people. You see their names over and over again. It's kind of a hobby for them. They're getting into the same arguments. Someone brings up Obama and blames it. You know, it's a conversation you've heard before. Whereas on social media, you get interesting responses. It's easier to respond as a reporter or a writer and engage with the reader. I just think it's a better place to do it.
It is. I agree with you completely. One caution, news organizations are turning over a crucial function to huge corporations with agendas of their own. Facebook and
By
Twitter,
doing what?
Oh, I see. But Facebook and Twitter are not there to help us. They're there to conduct their own business. And it's too bad that we can't control that ourselves.
That's a good point.
All right, Kelly.
Well, I have a rant for NBC Today. Seems like I'm just ranting about them all the time. So this past week, there was news that got out that Willie Geist and Natalie Morales had been fired. Well, it turns out the guy that was fired was Jamie Horowitz, who was brought in to redo the Today Show. He's going to be fabulous. He's going to be good. Well, he brought in September. He's out in November.
Hasn't even started officially.
Apparently, he was just a horror for, you know, in terms of temperament and all of that. And so there was maybe some plan, maybe maybe written by him. It's not clear from NBC that's now denied this report, saying they were thinking about many options, and maybe that was one, maybe it wasn't, but it's untrue that they're going. And I just wanted to say to NBC Today, first of all, this is just horrible. If you're trying to draw viewers, and they lost me a long time ago, to be attacking members of the family you try to create in the morning is crazy. And Willie Geist, are you kidding me? He's fabulous. What's the problem with? I mean, who's making these decisions? There couldn't be a greater person to be on the show who can do hard and soft news. And I found Natalie Morales to be fine as well.
Probably some of those rumors are going to end up coming true, though. They usually do.
Oh, I hope
some
not.
Of the changes
I really
there.
hope not. Yeah.
All right, I have a rant myself, which is a little bit complicated because I have to first confess that I read every word of that Weston Golf Club story in the Boston Globe this week. But I started feeling like there's nothing that gets a bigger charge out of people at the Globe than taking a whack at people that they considered money or elite. Because when you really read the entire thing, it was about, you know, somebody showing up at the club in the wrong attire. Everybody handled it well. Clearly there were a couple of cocktails involved in the beginning. But then the proper apologies were made and the proper resignations were tendered and everything, you know, went on. And if this had happened anywhere else, other than an elite country club, it would be a nothing.
I don't know. I found the most interesting thing of about the story to me was the apology from the people who had transgressed, the people who admitted that they had worn jeans and were so apologetic and said, "We're so sorry. We're really good people. We have integrity."
Everybody
that
did
was
the
a
right,
juicy story.
But everybody did the right thing. I don't know. If somebody showed up, you know, in a lesser place with the wrong attire, believe me, it would not be a story.
I thought it was a cultural story,
but they
actually.
did.
Yeah.
I hate to break it to you, the public's appetite for stories about rich people making fools of themselves will never abate.
That's
And
right.
that's the other thing, the assumption that all these people are rich. I have no idea. The
Weston Golf Club?
The couple who was going in wasn't even a member.
Right.
They weren't members. I don't know if they're rich or not.
Well, that's the problem, letting non-members in.
The members
right.
may not be rich
That's
either
our
because
show.
it's-
Tell us what you think. Is the reaction to the Cosby accusations appropriate? Are there different standards for men and women in the media? Weigh in on our website, beatthepress.org. You can also catch up on past episodes or watch any of this show you may have missed. And join us Monday for Greater Boston.